All right, let's move straight to our main conversation for today. In business and national development, groundbreaking projects often attract admiration and resistance. It is against this backdrop that Africa's richest man, Aliko Dangote, has accused powerful oil sector mafias of plotting to frustrate operations at his multi-billion-dollar refinery in Lagos. At the refinery's first anniversary of petrol refining, Dangote noted that both international traders and local marketers are trying to dump cheap, subsidized products in Nigeria to weaken local production. He insisted that the refinery was built to transform Nigeria's oil sector. Okay, joining us for more discussion on this issue. But before we do that, BQ, let's quickly look at this matter before we bring in our guests. It's 1 year.
Yes.
Looking at this allegation by Dangote, first of all, when you heard it, what came to your mind?
Yes, Aliko Dangote is a businessman who has come this far because of his inventiveness, his desire to dare obstacles and surmount them. If you don't have that kind of can-do spirit, aggressive nature, you will never be a success in business like Dangote. And he knows too that many businesses have been frustrated in our country because of government policies and because of individuals who would rather, because of their selfishness, allow solid initiatives to crumble. So he was prepared for them. He knew that not many people will welcome his refinery. Remember, for many years, we had no refinery functioning in our country.
Yeah, we were just importing.
We were just importing. Some people built big tank farms, took loans here and there. For such people, the coming of Dangote Refinery will be seen as a threat.
Yes,
And
understandably so.
whatever they can do to keep themselves in business, because look, with that refinery coming on stream, it poses a threat to their own line of business. Because look, if Dangote can produce 650,000 barrels a day, that's more than the quantum of petrol that we consume on a given day. That's far more than our consumption level. So people would then ask the question, do we really still need
the tank farms?
the tank farms? Do we really still need to import at the level that we used to import? Of course, the answer is no. And if we can reduce drastically the level of imports, we'll be able to save scarce foreign exchange and all that. And Dangote himself will be able to earn foreign exchange for the country because he also services markets outside of our country. So it's, for me, as an outsider looking in, I see this as a big contestation between two
players.
Two group of players. The importers who will want the regime of importation to continue, and a man who has spent a fortune to build the biggest single train refinery in the world, who also needs to survive because he knows what it means. If these people continue to import and they even sell petrol cheaper than his own rate, then they will be in trouble. So I see this as a big battle between two contending forces, and I am determined to be as neutral as I can possibly be.
We'll try to be neutral. But you know when they say, when two elephants fight,
yes,
the grass suffers.
Yes.
Now, the grass in this sense...
The truth also suffers.
The truth also suffers.
Times, yes.
But this Nigerians now.
Yes.
Nigerians now. But anyway, joining us for more discussion on this issue is an energy expert, Dan Kunle. Dan Kunle, thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
All right, then. So let's begin the conversation this way. I mean, it's 1 year since the Dangote Refinery began refining petrol. Talk to us. How will you describe its impact on the sector so far?
Thank you very much. Yesterday morning, I was on your competitor's platform, the Arise Television, on this same matter, because yesterday, coincidentally, was the 1 year anniversary of Dangote Refinery's pumping out PMS, the one you call Premium Motor Spirit, that's petrol. And it has been very impactful. The last 1 year has been very impactful and very good opportunity for Nigerians to see the difference between when you depend so much on importation and when you do it locally yourself. This conversation will continue because the lifeline of Nigeria is oil and gas. Supposedly, it should be agriculture, food first. But unfortunately for us, we have even downgraded food. And oil has become the major issue that we talk about every day. So if you take the history of United States of America, they were consuming so much oil and they were producing. But at a point, they were importing too much to meet their domestic need because they were the largest automobile country in the world in the 70s, in the 80s, in the 90s, although the Chinese have overtaken them now. But they were consuming so much and they were importing. They were importing from Nigeria. They were also importing gas from Nigeria. They were importing our sweet crude and they were importing gas. Our LNG was going to America largely. Today, United States of America sat down, all their private sector drivers, they sat down and said, look, we must break the jinx. Let us invest in fracking technology. And they did that. Today, they are doing 14, 15 million barrels per day. They are now the largest producer of crude oil in the world. So they are no longer importing from Nigeria, except if they import special grade crude from Nigeria for particular purpose. The same thing with gas. They were importing LNG from all over the world. Today, America is the largest producer of LNG and exporter of LNG. All the LNG receiving terminals in America, they have converted them to export terminals. So Nigeria, we are still battling between 22 million tons of LNG per day, per year, and 30 million that we are trying to achieve now. So Dangote Refinery came, coincidentally, with the time that President Tinubu won election to become the president of Nigeria. It's a good coincidence because President Tinubu has done one thing that other presidents could not do in the past. He decided to be the rat that has to bail the cat in the animal kingdom. President Tinubu said, look, I will bail the cat. And he did it. He removed the subsidy, deregulated the downstream that we have been trying to deregulate fully. So when he did this, and coincidentally, Dangote Refinery was just kicking in, it was a good coincidence. So that refinery startup helped to further consolidate President Tinubu's agenda of total deregulation in order to save the country from the subsidy scam. I use the word scam because it was never transparent. It was all fraud perpetrated along the line. So, and you can see what the subsidy regime also created in 2013-14. You remember the crisis where Ike Imokede, the current chairman of Access Bank, and Madam Nuhu Ribadu, that is the current NSA, they were asked by President Jonathan to look into the subsidy scam. So I think what we need to do is to assess the extent to which the volume coming out of Dangote Refinery has helped to save the Federal Treasury from dollar demand from central bank, and also to stem demurrage at the port and to stem the excesses of the cabal that imports petroleum products. At times they import air, we were told. They will bring a vessel, and the vessel, what is inside the vessel, only God knows. So the coming of Dangote has brought a big shift, dramatic shift, phenomena. You cannot believe it. You need to visit that place. So I think this is what we should be fighting to protect. This country must fight to protect Dangote Refinery. It is the beginning of a new journey in this country. And I hope all of us will realize that and key into it. Allow new entrants to come. Nobody is stopping anybody. It's free entry, free exit. So I believe that the journalists that were conducted around there the day before yesterday on Monday, I believe they were very impressed because they saw something that some of them said they never believed was there. Yesterday was the Nigerian Student Association. They were there. They marvel also. So I think we are on the right course, and we are not in any way afraid of the cabal's threats all over the place. We are not afraid. This is competition. It's not a fight. It's a commercial fight. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Kunle. Dangote's traducers say that he's somebody who likes to thoroughly dominate the market. They call him a monopolist. And they can't understand why somebody should be in charge of refining, in charge of depot services, and even get involved in trucking of products as well as retailing. Don't you think the affair is justified? Because many of them say that he's trying to run them out of town, which will eventually create unemployment and all that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Babajide Otitoju. This repetitive question baffles me at times because I think it appears we are mentally lazy at times. If you do some basic research, when in the 70s and 80s, we were the second largest importer of bulk cement in the world, bulk cement. Every Nigerian was just going. You remember Cement Armada, 1974-75, when we were in secondary school. Cement Armada, that was what created the building of a co-hotel. So if you remember that time, every elitist businessman in Nigeria was looking for how to build silos and import bulk cement and put inside, and bag cement and put their name. When Dangote, his family was importing bulk cement, so he also was involved. Then he also built the silos. But at a point, he realized that everybody is just bagging cement. And Lafarge, that time it was called Portland Cement, they were the only one producing in Ewekoro and later Sagam, if you remember. They were not doing up to 2 million tons a year. And Nigeria was consuming far double of what they were doing. So we were importing from Indonesia, from all over the world, from Norway. Now, what happened to that era? Gradually, Dangote entered into cement production in Nigeria. He went to Kogi State and identified limestone and then went into the business. The international conspirators that time, they felt that this guy cannot make it. But President Obasanjo said, look, tell me what you need and I will give you, because I cannot continue to import bulk cement into the country. It was a big battle. So he broke through 5 million tons at a go, capacity in Obajana. Today it's about 16 million tons. From that moment, Lafarge woke up from Ewekoro and Sagam and quickly expanded. And today, Aliko is close to 50-something million tons of cement. We are now net exporter of cement. So the same thing is happening to oil now, and it's going to happen to LNG. If we use, Aliko has used his head as a diamond head to break the barriers. It's the diamond head. You know how hard diamond is. He has broken the barrier, and he has entered into the sector. So other people should now take advantage and enter with him instead of staying around the beer parlors across the country and say, oh, he's taking bread and butter from our table. The structure of your businesses, I sympathize with them because they were not using good business consultants to guide them over the years. The structure of the businesses those people were in has aged. It has played to. I have said it repeatedly, that era is over. Nigeria in Africa is a strategic country by location, by population, even the mix of the population. We are not all blacks in Nigeria. We are mixed races all over the world here. So the ingenuity in us, the talents in us, the innovative creativity in us, we have to put it to use. Otherwise, we are going to just continue to create talents to go and work and build other countries in the world. It's not acceptable. My generation will not sit down and watch this happen. So the cabal or the people who are importing, who feel very aggrieved now, they should come to table. They should go and lobby government to call Dangote to table so that they can have a transition timetable. And this will take me to the issue of the regulator. The midstream, downstream regulatory authority, they seem to have buckled out. They seem to have become clueless. So, and I don't still know why President Tinubu is keeping them there, because they are not really aligning with his policy. They are not accelerating to say, look, we need to build a transition timetable of this sector, this midstream, downstream. Had it been government refinery were working, if former GMD Mele had not messed up the whole thing within 6 years, if those refineries were working, there would have been a pari passu strategic balancing between Dangote and the government refinery, because they will still be bringing something out, even if it has a loss. But at least they will be working epileptically. But in this case, those refineries are technically insolvent, as I've said before. So how do you now, as importer, say that somebody who invested $20 billion should sit by and not go into distribution when you say don't go to his refinery gantry to load, or he must load for you at a particular price so that you can do your markup, because your tank farm cost, overhead cost, discharge, and trucking, you must make your gain. It cannot be so anymore. That is over. So it's unfortunate that nobody is taking joy in the end of that segment of our economic and commercial life in Nigeria. Okay. Nobody is taking joy in that. But that is how nature creates us. We grow, we plateau, we decline. So that segment of the downstream has plateaued, and they are going to decline. So maybe federal government can bail them out. Maybe the federal government can create something to bail them out.
Because this conflict is not between Dangote and petroleum importers alone. Depot owners, as well as even NOPENG, they are involved in this conflict. I want you, as an insider, to tell me at what point Dangote and the people at Dapman had this misunderstanding, because I had read in the past that they were prepared to load from his refinery. When did that conflict begin, to the point that it now looks like they've reached a point of no return?
Well, from a brief history of the last 2 years, if you check in the last 2 years, it has been like that, you know, cat and mouse relationship. They felt threatened, and they insisted that they would continue to import, that the refinery was not doing well, that the refinery was not even producing enough. So they were saying they will not go there to load. Then later they change again and say, no, they will cooperate, they will load, but they brought maybe their terms and conditions to Dangote Refinery management. And those ones say, oh, can we manage this? We cannot manage this condition. Okay, then the issue came. The management of Dangote Refinery foresaw that, look, if Dapman members don't come to load, they don't come to buy from us because of 1, 2, 3 issues, then we are going to have 5 billion liters tank farm filled up. There will be nobody to evacuate them except the export. So Dangote has to take a last-minute decision and say, look, the best thing is to call the bluff of these people. There's no law that says I cannot own my own trucks. There's no law that says I cannot buy the trucks since I have the resources. So he bought the trucks. Within the last 9 months, he ordered the trucks and they started coming. Immediately those trucks started coming. We announced it sometimes in July that they were coming and we were going to start something 15th of August. That was the beginning of the panic and all the blackmail, cheap blackmail all over the place. That was the beginning. Then recently, if you watch a week ago, you will discover that that man now took an advert, something like public notice, and they stated their case there about their relationship with Dangote and so on and so forth. And if you check, if you watch another dimension from somebody who used to be part of Sahara Energy, Toye Cole, if you watch his interview with Seun Okinbaloye, you will see from that interview, his conversation with Okinbaloye, you can dimension what he was saying if you watch it. So you can see that there were a lot of things.
He was expressing his fear about monopoly.
Exactly.
Dangote has a history of monopoly.
Exactly. Now, in which case does Dangote have history of monopoly? To let me cure that, let me find a way around that one you just mentioned now. In which way has Dangote been a monopolist? He's in sugar business. He's not the only one in sugar business in Nigeria. He's in cement. He's not the only one in cement in Nigeria. He was in flour mill, wheat milling. He was not the only one in wheat milling in Nigeria. He was in sugar. He was not the only one in sugar in Nigeria. Look, he was in salt. He was not the only one in salt in Nigeria.
Dangote alleged that international traders and local markets are trying to dump cheap, substandard products on Nigeria to sabotage local production. Talk to me, how valid is this argument? You know, we know how this thing runs. They call it cheap blackmail. But talk to me. Let me have your opinion on this one first.
Thank you very much. Let me clear one thing. From colonization, even go back to slavery, because slavery was part of the big fundamentals that destroy Africa. Until now, the triple heritage has crippled us completely. Because if you watch, you don't know what to do at times. Do you align with the Western Christendom world? Do you align with the Middle East culture and Islam? At times, do you align with your heritage? So you are confused because since slavery, we got disvirgin completely and raped all over the place. So now, when colonialism came, again, it was another hegemony. Big weight on us, monster. So we were fractured completely. Africa was fractured. So what were your basic needs in Africa as a continent, dark continent, as it was that time? So what were your basic needs? So the colonial master who has all the might and the power were the one bringing some things to support your survival. So when they invented ampicillin, they were coming to cure us, they were coming to preach to us, they were coming to convert us, and they were coming to give us education in one hand. To liberate us, they claim. So, okay, good enough, we are lucky we are speaking English today, we are lucky we play soccer, we are lucky we are part of the global arena now. So, but if you see that remnant left of colonialism, it means even you at home cannot even manage yourself. You can't produce what you need. You can't produce what you wear. You cannot produce even the house on you. All the building materials in Nigeria, apart from sand and cement, all the other things are imported. Even the equipment to mine that sand and produce that cement, we still need it from the colonial masters. So when Aliko Dangote made that statement, he made it as a statement of fact and scientifically proven, because you don't manufacture Caterpillar. So when the international traders saw that they sell petrol here with more profit margin, so they have to defend it because it's a trade. How did Vitor start business? How did Trafalgar start business? How they started their business by doing marketing mapping of the whole world. And they saw Africa as a good virgin ground to dump product because you cannot refine on your own. So go to Congo Zaire. Go and see the mining level in Congo Zaire. There is no refinery in Congo Zaire. Even Congo Brazzaville, that is just opposite there, that have some oil. I don't think the refinery there is even anything to write home about. So the international oil company, it's not their fault. This is marketing, sales. They have to look for porous parts of the world where they can push product at higher margins. So whether that product now meets international standard, they set the standard. You didn't set the standard. All the ISOs in the world, international standard organizations in the world, who controls them? From Switzerland, they are controlled. From Germany, from Japan, from America. So you don't control anything. So it is what they certify through the manifest and give to you, they sign, that you take. So they bring anything for you and they fix the price. They dictate the price. So if Aliko screamed, it's not his fault. When he was building the refinery, they were frowning at it. They were among the people saying, oh, we doubt if this thing will work. Look, let me tell you, this Ogogoro Island you are looking at, not Ogogoro Island, I think Snake Island. Snake Island was slated to have a refinery. When Niger Dock was built there, after that, I think President Obasanjo wanted to encourage a group to build a refinery in that place. They stopped the project. The international oil companies that were invited, I think they reneged. They just put 1 and 2 together. And they reneged because Nigeria was a good place for them just to send products. But the incident that Nigerians never sit down to watch is that if you don't have deep sea ports, you can never import efficiently. That is the problem. They say no shipping, no shopping. So when your shipping facilities are poor, your shopping will be very expensive.
Okay, Dankole, because of our time, is there still room for a resolution between Dapman, Petro1, and Dangote? They've already shown their willingness that they are ready to work.
The regulator, there is room. Every time there is room, only debt has no room for negotiation. When debt comes,
ready to work with them?
But every other human activities dynamically can be resolved. War, you resolve it on table. So there's room. But look, I'm even surprised that the thing has reached the level where they threaten to go on strike on one hand. Because I would have expected the midstream, downstream regulatory authority to have taken this matter up and be the one to mediate. And if the thing goes out of mediation, which I doubt, then he can escalate it to the Minister of Petroleum and Labor. And then it can get to the table of Mr. President. But in this case, as it is now, it's like, oh, the regulator has become almost irrelevant in the whole exercise because maybe the regulator is no longer a regulator. I think they are more interested in commercial activities and rates charges and collections of toll all over the place. So I think the situation as it is now, maybe Mr. President, we should plead with Mr. President, since he's back from his working holiday, to say, look, what is going on? Can you call me President, can you call me Aliko Dangote? Can you call me all the stakeholders involved? What is going on? I think this is the level we are reaching now. Because all these threats here and there, they are baseless. All these emotions, they are baseless. I've said it many times. Economic realities cannot be resolved with emotions and sentiment. It's just like now, you don't have electricity in this country. Can emotion and sentiment resolve it? Electricity industry has been destroyed since 2015. Completely. Propaganda, destroy it. So the same thing, the oil and gas, we have been talking. And all the government refineries are dead. So the only one that is surviving now, that is working commercial refinery in Africa that is solid, is Dangote. So yeah. I expect President Tinubu to wade in at this point because Dangote cannot be punished, cannot be sacrificed for the achievement he has given this country since Nigeria was created in 1914. He has just lifted us above a returning point. We are up there already. So the president should please help us to support him and resolve this matter.
Talking about this conflict, even if the president were to come in, I wonder what the president can do. Dangote has bought trucks in thousands. We hear plans to bring in more than 10,000 trucks. More than 4,000 are in already. And they are going to be delivering petrol free to filling stations right up to Maiduguri. That in itself puts some of these people we are talking about in big danger of bankruptcy, of unemployment on a big scale. If we say the president should step in, is he going to tell Dangote to stop rolling out those trucks to deliver fuel for free? I mean, deliver product free to the end users? Because if he continues to do that, nobody will go to those tank farms to lift product. And incrementally, they will be dying one after the other. This is what people see. Yeah. And they are saying, oh, the blowback will be massive. Many people will lose their jobs. Many businesses will die. But Dangote will see this as his own way of surviving an onslaught that is planned for him. So the kind of intervention that you think can happen, will it involve saying, okay, let these people keep the retailing business. Don't roll out your CNG trucks. Is that what you imagine will happen?
Babajide Otitoju, let me tell you something. Economic reality, it does not, the commercial reality today is that if you, let me put it this way, if you take inventorization of all the assets, the depot owners, and I don't know how many depot owners also have truck in addition. But if you take all the depots and you do inventorization, check their integrity, check their capacity, bring forensic auditor to do it, and they put value on it, and you value Dangote's refinery, and you value all the trucks Dangote is having. So take away the petrol station because the depot owners are not the owner of the petrol stations. Mm. So it's left for them to do that, or ask the regulator to do that, and then they now say, oh, this is the total asset that are being now encumbered by the coming in of Dangote Refinery. So, government, what can you do for us? Then government may say, okay, we will help you, we'll give you a safe landing, we will find something for you to survive, to just leave the business because it's a bad business. That's all. I will give you an example. When we could not run Ajakuta, when we could not run Nigerian paper mill Jeba, when we could not run all the sugar factories in Nigeria, when we could not run NAFCON, when we could not run all the companies owned by government in Nigeria, what happened? What happened? We lost over $20 billion into all those companies. Ajakuta alone, we lost over $5 billion. Aluminum smelter, we lost about $3.8 billion because it was about 5 billion Dutch mark that was used to build aluminum smelter in Ikotabasi. So if the people in depot business have to lose their business, if they have to lose their business because you have to give way to allow the new era to emerge, then they should go to the doorstep of government. Government does not go bankrupt. Government is sovereign. So they can go and beg there. That becomes political, not commercial anymore. So that's your question. I hope you understand me now. But you cannot stop this truck from plying the road of Nigeria to go and deliver to petrol station because that is what the Nigerian consumer need. Nigerian consumer don't want to see middleman who now add on 75 naira, 80 naira on a liter. Nigerians are happy that, oh, if the petrol station is delivered, if it's in my village and truck just deliver, and I just go there and buy. So no more middleman. It's basic commerce. Direct manufacturer to the end user. I grow yam in my farm. I take it to the person who needs it in his house in the village. Why should I give it to somebody who have warehouse on the road to the farm? Then he now add his own before he go deliver it. Why? It doesn't. Where is the logic there?
Finally,
so please let us separate that issue. Let them go and address it commercially. Okay. But as I've said, they may need to do some inventorization and audit of their asset, the integrity of the asset, the capacity, the investment they have made. All the banks should wake up if they are owning the banks. These are commercial issues. But if they want to go political, let them go to the doorstep of government.
Okay.
Not to start attacking Dangote's strategy. That's his own strategy of surviving. What if the refinery had failed? Will they go to his house to sympathize with him?
Otedola said something recently that the tank farms should consider selling the assets. Is that the end game?
In
because
insolvency.
he's very close to Alhaji Dangote, and he said months ago that with the coming of this refinery, those running those tank farms, they should consider selling them as scrap.
Babajide, let me tell you something. When Nitel went bankrupt, what did the federal government do? They liquidated it. We liquidated NAFCON. We liquidated Nigeria Airways. Nigeria Airways had 32 aircraft. When we were liquidating it, I was a member of the liquidation committee. They had only 2 aircraft left that could not, there was no insurance cover on them. Yeah. We liquidated it. So what Femi Otedola have said, as a prophet, as at that time, some of us, we already foresaw it, that was what was going to happen. Yeah. Some of them were wise enough, they have sold their tank farm as scraps. So the steel rolling mills in Nigeria can buy them and go and melt them. It's not. It's at a great pain. It's at a great pain to those investors. At all for this. It's at a great pain to those investors. But it also teaches us a lesson. It's part of the history of a nation building. It teaches us a lesson that when you are in a particular type of business that does not have strong foundation, you should always be circumspect. Those businesses had no strong foundation. They were rentier businesses. They were parasites on NNPC.
Okay. So, Dankule, rolling out 10,000 trucks on Nigerian roads, we all know that it will further compound the transportation problems and the already poor conditions of the roads. Now, is there any plan to address these fears?
Yes, it will naturally be addressed. Already, President Tinubu is building a road from where we are sitting to Calabar. It's a super highway, so most of these vehicles in 3 years' time, 2-3 years' time, they will be on that road. So I'm not afraid of that one because a nation is not a static organic being. It's a dynamic organic being. So you are going to grow organically. It's an evolutionary thing. You don't stay static. So 10,000, 6,000 is for bulk cargo. 4,000 is for the wet cargo now. And maybe more will come. In fact, it may become electric. So let me tell you one thing about the infrastructural development scheme of road network for Nigeria, and the rail, and the water roads, all the waterways, your river roads, the River Niger and Benue, and then some other important rivers that you can, the lagoon from Ijora here all the way to Brutu, to Calabar, via non-river in Bayelsa. You can connect with One. I think I have the map, I remember. So if you invest in all this infrastructure, you diversify, you now have multimodal framework for transportation. For now, at this stage of our transition, we have to live with bad road for now. The federal government don't have enough money. I am pleading with President Tinubu to accelerate the private-public partnership arrangement, to allow many roads to be built on PPP basis, so that the federal government alone cannot handle the landscape of this country, road construction. The one he's doing from Sokoto to Badagry now, you can imagine what it is going to cost also. In another 2-3 years' time, at least, that is good landmark, very good landmark. So we should not be afraid that because of 10,000 trucks that will now be on our road, what of also another like 2,000-3,000 that are dead weight on the road that are going to give way? So it's a natural phenomenon. New one come, some are aging out because those ones will go to the scrap yard for recycling. So I think it's a natural thing. If the railways were restored, because when the textile industry was doing very well, if you remember from Kano, we used to move cotton lint and granite to Barrow, and we use barges from Barrow to go to Brutu to come to Lagos. So if we are able to open up the railway line again, it will also ease the weight on the road. But I can assure you, Dangote is the largest builder of road in this country after federal government. And he's building concrete road. When he opened up OKLNG port now, he's going to open up 5 dual carriageway, 5 from the OKLNG to Ore Junction. And then like that to Sagam, to the new cement factory he's building in Itori. So I think we should not be afraid of that at all. So what we should be looking at is how we are going to accelerate the diversification of this economy, agricultural production and petrochemical, heavy industry. Without that, 230 million people will be more in poverty in 5, in 10 years' time. And they will be blaming President Tinubu, but we should pressurize President Tinubu to do the right thing.
All right, then. Yeah. Thank you so much, Dan Kunle. Dan Kunle is an energy expert. Oh, dear. How time flies when we talk right here on the show. Thank you so much, Dan Kunle.
How time flies.
Thank you very much. Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
When the guest shows no mercy. Shows no sympathy to people who could be in danger any moment from now.
But anyway, BK, in just rounding off this conversation, I mean, this back and forth between Dangote, Newpeng, what does this say about Nigeria's business climate, business environment, just in 30 seconds?
It's a very complicated business environment where only the really strong survive.
The strong survive.
Yes. You have to be strong, you have to be aggressive. And Dangote is aggressive, he's strong, and he's inventive.
Okay. All right, then. But anyway, thank you so much, BKO, as always. Thank you so much for doing this with us.